Howdy ho ho, my good humans. How the hell are you doing? This is Unnecessary Rambling. I am Brandon Sylvia. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all for stopping by to talk about some pickups. Got a lot of shit here today. And, can't lie. Did some impulse purchasing. GameStop had like a 50% off, 75% off sale going on. And I just started grabbing shit. There were actually a lot of games like 2023 releases that I picked up where I was like, yeah, I've heard good things about some of these. Let me play a few of them before the end of the year so I can get them into my ranking video. So I had good intentions, but yeah, good intentions meet a pile of backlog additions. But I have checked out a few of these, so we'll talk about each one briefly, and we got a lot of stuff to go over, so I'll just rapid fire run through these. First up here we have Art of Rally, and I played a little bit of this on Game Pass. Thought it was okay, so I grabbed a physical copy, and then I actually ended up booting it up and playing it for about 3 or 4 hours on PS5, and it's just kind of a fun little solo trial racing game. You're trying to beat different times and stuff. It's nothing too advanced or extravagant, eventful, but it's fun enough. And same thing kind of applies to this one, Inertial Drift. But I do like Inertial Drift more than Art of Rally. It's more competitive racing with, you know, different AI racers that you're going up against. And it has couch co-op on offers. It has like a dope neon art style. And the mechanic, like the main hook for Inertial Drift is that I think it's the right thumbstick controls your drifting ability. So you're using the right thumbstick to kind of maneuver your car. And I thought that was just a pretty cool little feature. Almost made it feel like a twin stick shooter for racing games. Next up we have Clive and Wrench. I don't know, man. This was like friggin' $9, or it might have even been less than that. Just a cute little 3D platformer. I know absolutely nothing about this game. I'll have some B-roll running so you can get a glimpse of it. I know I've seen something about this game at some point, but I think I might have gotten this confused with that Penny's Big Breakaway game that's coming out in 2024. But I don't know. I like a good, chill platformer to have in the lineup from time to time, so we'll see about Clive and Wrench. This is one I absolutely am going to play. That is Severed Steel. This is supposed to be like a kinetic, fucking bombastic first-person shooter with a lot of destructible, like, voxel environments, and yeah, it just looks super, super fucking cool. And I don't know. I remember when this came out in 2022, I want to say. I remember people really praising this thing, and I remember even seeing it pop up in like Game of the Year discussions, so definitely will be checking out Severed Steel. Teardown, I played this for a couple hours. I thought it was okay. It kind of looks like Minecraft, but the thing that really intrigued me about this game was they had the story mode where you are playing as like a demolition man. And then some shit goes wrong and you end up having to work with the feds and you're doing these cases for them. And I was hoping that would be a little bit more interesting than it was. It just felt like pretty simple, you know, time trial missions. Go in here, break into this building, get this thing, and do some of the... I do enjoy the destructibility of the world. I think that's sick as shit. And it's cool that they have such a physics-based system where you can kind of blow shit up in any way your mind sees fit. But as cool as all of that was, and as much as I appreciate that, I was just like, okay, after an hour or so, I was like, I think I get a grasp of what this game has to offer. And I understand why the art style is the way it is, but definitely not my favorite style of art in video games. Next up, we have Cyberpunk 2077. The PS5 physical copy of it finally came out, and I had to grab that. I was really torn on that between picking up the PS5 and the Series X version, because for whatever reason, the Series X version has all of the DLC on the disc. So Phantom Liberty you can play straight from the disc, whereas with the PS5 version, you have to download it. And obviously, you know, I don't love that, but it becomes the thing where it's like, okay, would I rather pick up the game for the console that is just stricken with DRM on the Series X, or would I rather grab the PS5 copy where I've already been playing the game and I can kind of transfer my save file over if I want to and then just download Phantom Liberty? I ended up going with that route, but I can definitely understand why people were frustrated about Phantom Liberty not being included in the PS5 physical release. But yeah, I wanted to pick it up because I know I'm going to play through it again. I've played Cyberpunk, I played Phantom Liberty and messed around in that world after the 2.0 patch went live, so I know it's been cleaned up. I've played it quite a bit since it's been cleaned up, and it's a totally different experience. So I just wanted to have that copy on the PS5, a physical copy of that, so that I can go back to it in that state on that disc. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. Talked about this in my Game of the Year ranking, and I thought it was okay. A lot like Far Cry with an Avatar skin on it, except much more nebulous and annoying than Far Cry, in my opinion. They really wanted to make this world feel so seamless and like blend the environments into one another, so you're constantly just wandering off, getting lost and shit, and the quest markers are absolutely horrible. But some people really like that style of exploration and going and wandering and being lost, so hey, more power to you. And I think the actual gameplay that's on offer is fucking great with Avatar. The world is absolutely gorgeous. One of the prettiest just worlds in a video game that I've ever seen. It's a cool game. It's a fun game. It has some really, really strong moments. Getting the flying mountain, running around and shooting the different helicopters with your goddamn assault rifle or with your bow and arrow. It's a cool, fun experience. Maybe not one I'd recommend for $70, but if you can grab it for $20-$30 and you like Avatar, I think you'll have a good time with it. Ghost Runner 2. Once again, talking about 2023 games that I picked up and wanted to play before the end of the year so I could include them in the ranking. Ghost Runner 2 was in that list. This, I heard that it was a little bit more story packed. Like there was a little bit more story packed into Ghost Runner 2 than the first one. And that was the thing with the first game. I was just like, why am I playing this? You know, that dilemma often hits me where I'm playing a game, I begin to understand the mechanics, and I kind of get an understanding of what the game is going to offer, and then from that point it's okay, so we're just doing this over and over and over again, and there's nothing really compelling me to finish the game. It's just engaging with the mechanics. And with Ghost Runner 2, it appears to be more open. You have a motorcycle and more story emphasis going on there. And I mean, I did like the gameplay loop that was on offer with the first game. Really fast-paced, super fucking fun, trial and error sort of gameplay loop. And yeah, so I'll definitely check out Ghost Runner 2. God of Rock. I remember this was nominated for Fighting Game of the Year, and I know that kind of comes down to just there weren't a lot of fighting games released in 2023 that you could really pick from. You had to fill up that lineup of 5, and I guess this was just one of the 5. But I don't know. Maybe it's decent. I know it's more of like a rhythm-based fighting game, so we'll see. And once again, you see like the 75% sale, and then a lot of these games were in that, pretty much all of these games were in that 50 to 75% off range, except for, you know, obviously Avatar, Phantom Liberty. I don't think Ghost Runner 2 was in that range. I think I did get it on some sort of sale, but I don't think it was in that 50 to 75% off territory. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. I played this for about an hour or two, and I thought it was pretty good. I'm not the biggest 2D Metroidvania fan, but I wanted to give it a go. It was like the first big release of 2024, and I heard people talking about, oh, hey, you know, this is a Metroidvania for people who really aren't into the genre. So I was like, all right, let me give this thing a crack. And I think it does have some cool shit on offer, specifically like being able to take the pictures and place the pictures on the map so that you don't forget certain areas to go back to whenever you unlock the different abilities and new ways to reach these once unreachable locations. Like, I do think it has some cool features on offer. I think the story presentation is really good. I really enjoy the 2D combat. My big thing is I just don't like exploring 2D spaces all that much in games. And I talked about it a bit in my 2024 gaming goals video, where I was like, I gotta get better at putting games down when I'm not feeling them. So I think that might be the case with Prince of Persia. I can appreciate it from afar, and I can acknowledge a lot of the cool things that it's doing, but I just don't really want to play it, if I'm being honest. Next up, we got World of Horror. And if I'm being honest, this was once again very much an impulse purchase. I saw this, I think, at like a Nintendo Direct a while ago. I remember seeing it and thinking, damn, this looks really weird, and I dig how weird it looks. Unfortunately, I didn't do enough research, and I was listening to Jen from Retro Rivals. They were doing their pickup video, and they were talking about World of Horror, and she mentioned that it was a roguelike, and I absolutely hate roguelikes. So I don't know. We'll see. I definitely will boot it up to check it out at some point, but I for sure got to get better at doing my research. Grand Theft Auto, the Definitive Edition trilogy. I played through Vice City. Horrible port of Vice City. Absolutely horrible. And I played through San Andreas, and the port of San Andreas was really, really good. I guess, I should call it a remaster. It's not a remake, obviously, but it's more than a port. It is definitely a remaster. I mean, there's been some pretty significant changes made to the shooting. That's probably the main one, where you'll be able to kind of, have your crosshairs in GTA 3 and Vice City, and they introduced that in San Andreas, the original version of San Andreas. It wasn't as fluid as it is in the definitive edition. And then the big new edition, which this is for San Andreas only, I think. I haven't played through GTA 3 in the definitive edition collection yet, but in San Andreas you have brand new checkpoints, which is a game changer, because for any of you who have played San Andreas, you will know there are some difficult ass missions in that game. But played through, and I got the review up, so you'll be able to see that, but played through Vice City and San Andreas, and I was just so blown away by San Andreas, going back to it and seeing this game world that is like, I mean, I'm not even joking. I would have to imagine at least five times bigger than Vice City. And then, on top of that, adding in all these brand new features, the ability to climb, the ability to pilot planes, the ability to swim, all the sim-based systems, crouching, and, being able to crouch and aim and fire, and like the stealth mechanics. There was just so much on offer with San Andreas that we had never seen before in the Grand Theft Auto series, and really features a lot of features that we had never seen before in open world games in general. So yeah, man, I have a ton of appreciation for that game. I really do think it might be the greatest game of all time. So also, I picked up some Xbox games. I don't really collect. I collect for the 360 a little bit and the original Xbox, but I don't really collect much for the Series X, like we talked about earlier, because of the DRM issues with the Series X. But I picked up Redfall. They were practically giving this thing away, so I was like, all right, I'll grab Redfall. And I actually, to be fair, I have heard people who have went back to Redfall in the last few months. There's a little bit of revisionism going on. There's a little bit of people kind of coming around on certain aspects of Redfall. So I'm not really against going back to it. My only thing is I just thought the story was so god awful. Like the presentation of the story, I was really, really stunned by how poorly presented that story was. And that's not something that can really be patched around. You know what I mean? You can't really clean that up with a patch. So we'll see. Might jump back into it for a little bit. Psychonauts 2 in this god-awful GameStop. Man, how? I really don't get it. This game came out in 2021, if I'm not mistaken. How the hell does this happen in 2 years' time? I was really looking forward to getting a damn copy of this game with the case and all that shit. But once again, it was cheap. So I picked it up. I'll print out the artwork. But I really wanted the next gen version of Psychonauts, because I know it's on PlayStation 4 as well, but I don't know. I played through Psychonauts 2 on the Series X, so I just wanted a copy of it to kind of represent the experience that I had playing Psychonauts 2. Absolutely love the game. One of my favorite games of the year in 2021. Can't wait to see what Double Fine does next. Would definitely be down for some more Psychonauts or whatever the hell else. I think they're creating a new IP, so definitely down to check that out as well. I grabbed Blitz the League 2. I grabbed the PAL copy because it's just way, way, way cheaper than the North American copy. Horrible cover here. I'll put the box art up for the North American cover. Just god awful in comparison. But hey, I never played Blitz the League 2, and I really, really enjoyed the first game. And so yeah, I wanted to check it out. Just super, super brutal ass arcadey football game. And they actually have pretty cool story modes and shit where you can be a completely corrupt GM. You're boosting the players up with steroids and shit. And yeah, man, RIP to Midway. And last but certainly not least, Jurassic Park, the Telltale game. I often say that there's never been a good Jurassic Park game, and I've said that many times on the channel, specifically when Survival got announced, Jurassic Park Survival. I was like, oh, cool. You know, the first ever good Jurassic Park game. We might get the first ever good Jurassic Park game. I think I said that multiple times when talking about it. I was like, you know, I can't really say that because I never played the Telltale game. And I gotta say, I played through, finished this game, finished the Jurassic Park Telltale game. It's fucking great. It's really, really good. It's a lot like Until Dawn. Very QTE centric, has some sort of point and click elements to it. It feels a little bit dated in some regards, but the story is really damn good. You're playing as multiple different characters, getting their perspective, and it all kind of ties together, and it's a good story, a really fun Telltale game that I just completely overlooked. So you'll never hear me say again there has not been a good Jurassic Park game, because that Telltale game is fucking really, really good. Unfortunately, it has gone up in price quite a bit. I think I got it for like $50. That's the unfortunate thing, where it's like, it's pretty hard to recommend at the price that it's at, but for the quality, you know, I'd say it's like a solid 8 out of 10 game. Just a bummer how these prices fucking skyrocket out of control. But yeah, man, that is going to be it for me today. That's going to be it for the pickups for this video. If you enjoyed it, consider sticking around, subscribing, liking the video, dropping a comment down for the algorithm. It all helps out the channel massively. And yeah, we'll get back into our regular routine soon of picking up games less impulsively and actually diving into them and talking about them and giving you a little, you know, light review / preview of each title in the pickups. But yeah, man, I hope y'all enjoyed, and I will see you good people in the next episode. Goodbye.